When was the building built? Do you know?
I don't know, hon. I
Okay.
bought it in 1969.
Okay.
Did you lease it first?
I know it was, they had closed up the Ford garage.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, Hilda, I think it was Hilda, I was across the street, and the storm blew my roof off. So I had to find another place.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. LeBlanc talked me into coming over here.
Okay, so did they lease it to y'all first? Because we found 2 dates.
Huh?
Did they lease it to y'all first, and then you bought it later?
Yes. I leased it for 5 years with another that I could renew the lease 5 more.
Okay.
And then when the lease was up, he came over. It's so funny, they don't do things like that today. He came over and told me, he says, I want to sell you my building. I said, okay, Mr. Block, fine. But he said, well, you know what, I went over to savings and loan, and I talked to Mr. Tony Beerrod. He said, come over there and sign the papers. No lawyer, just go sign the papers.
Yeah. Small town.
So I signed the papers, and I ended up with the building.
When
They
was that?
loaned me the money for 7% interest for 30 years, and I paid it off.
So when was that? Do you know the date? When did you buy it? What was the date?
In 1969, March.
Okay. When did Allain's open?
Huh?
When did Allain's open? When did you?
When did it open?
It opened before.
Well, I was open across the street.
Oh, you're in a different building, and then.
Yeah, I was working for Mr. Lamperez down the street, and I had a small family with 5 girls and 5 boys. And I realized I would have to get more money coming in because some kids having to go to college. So that's the reason why I quit my job and went over to Paul's, my brother-in-law's flower shop, Paul's flower shop, and I had $300 that I could play with, and that's what I used to, and people, all the salesmen knew me, so they sold me merchandise on consignment. And that is a way, and after working night and day and doing repairs for all the jewelry stores in town, I ended up with this store.
So did you have to make a lot of changes to it, like
to the building?
To the building, you had to make a lot of changes.
We did. I did repair it before I came in, but just recently, my son is an architect, and just recently we renovated again.
It's pretty preserved, though. You did a good job of preserving the building.
Yeah.
But there was on the side there was a hardware store, and I found out that this building has the walls are 2 feet thick. I had an engineer come out of Baton Rouge to check it out. We found out that walls were what was impossible to build a building today as well as this was built.
Yeah. What is unique about the building? Something. What is unique about it? About the building?
Well, I guess the way the thing is built, it'd be impossible to build one as well built as this is. And I do have an elevator in the back that would pick up an automobile and put it on the 2nd floor.
That's from the
on
Ford
the
garage.
third floor. The new cars were put in the third floor.
Is
There is an elevator, you can pick a car up and put it on the third floor.
That's pretty unique.
Does it still work?
Huh?
Does it still work? Does the elevator,
The elevator
still works?
still works.
Is it haunted, would you say?
And all I did is put my sailboat up. Put my playthings up
Yeah.
and my toys.
Would you say that the building is haunted?
No, I wouldn't say that. I do have a motorcycle upstairs. This man was carrying some important papers in Germany, and we needed the papers, so we knocked him off the bike. And I figured I didn't want to waste a poor bike, leave it in Germany, so I put it in an ammunition locker and brought it home.
Are there any favorite stories you have about the building or Allain's or?
Well, it's an old building, very old, and they did have a hardware store, so I'm sure, there was a lot of stores. And next door to us, Mr. Let me see, Mr. Brooks had a barn that he sold mules. He used to sit in the front.
Next door?
And he had a barn on the side on the parking lot. And they had a building, and he used to sell horses and mules.
That's interesting.
So it's been here, and originally, when they had this, I have a picture.
That one right there on the other side?
Yeah, Ford garage. The Ford people would send you out a chassis, which is the lower part of an automobile. You got the chassis, and then you would put a body on it. Now, if you wanted a truck body, you put a truck body. If you wanted a car, they'd put a car body.
So that's what they did in this store. That's what they did. Or used to do.
I have a picture right out there.
Yes, sir.
Showing a little bit of tires about the size of bicycle tires.
Yeah.
And not to blame on the building, but in 1930 I bought a brand new Ford automobile, a Ford pickup truck for $350.
So you got a good deal on that, huh? So you got a good deal.
No, that's what it was. About those days, wages were 35 cents an hour.
That's a good deal.
I came up during the Depression.
Oh. Yeah.
See, my wife's getting old. I'm only going to be 90. I'm not very old.
No.
Huh?
He said, no, not at all. Do you know what the future holds for the building? Do you think it's always going to be Allain's?
Well,
You hope it.
if you'll notice, the Ford garage emblem is still up on the front. And that will remain. As long as I live, anyway.
That's pretty cool.
What happens to my descendants, I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want the company, well, they'll be there. If not,
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we have.
but it was, I guess, a lot of old people. Most of those people have passed away today. And you're welcome to a picture.
That one.
Would you like a picture of that?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Let me
I'll
go-
get it.
Let me go